father and mother. Purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. In the material world, everyone is engrossed with the idea of identifying the body or the mind with the self. As such, all knowledge disseminated in the material world is related either with the body or with the mind, and that is the root cause of all despondencies. This is not always detected, even though one may be the greatest erudite scholar in materialistic knowledge. It is good, therefore, to approach to solve the root cause of all despondency. Why Narada should be approached is explained below. Om Jnana Timirandasya Gandhana Shalakaya Chakshurumilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Sri Chaitanya Vistam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamaya Dati Swapadantikam Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Sri Gaur Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Panchakalpatrubhyascha kripasindhuvescha patitanam pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. I was born in the darkest of ignorance, but my spiritual masters opened my eyes to the torchlight of transcendental knowledge. Therefore, I offer my respectful obeisances at His lotus feet. So, this is one of the most famous parts of Srimad Bhagvatam. As described in the previous verses, Vyasadeva, Narmani is telling you, composed all the Upanishads, the Mahabharata, and all the Puranas, so many things, but somehow I detect that you are not satisfied. So here Vyasadeva confirms that all you say is true, but yes, I'm not feeling satisfied. So he's approaching his spiritual master, Narad Muni. So this is a position before the spiritual master. We should always feel ourselves completely a fool. Before everyone else, we must present ourselves as knowing everything. Anybody can ask us any question, and by the mercy of our spiritual master, we can give the answer to that question. But before the spiritual master, I should appear like a fool. So although Vyasadeva, he's actually partial incarnation of the Lord, there's no question of him being despondent. But this is all a pastime so that the Srimad Bhagavatam would be revealed and we could understand the importance of Srimad Bhagavatam. And so here, first point Prabhupada makes is that although we may be advanced in material knowledge, still it's just identifying the body and mind as the self. This is our biggest problem. That I'm convinced that I am this body and this mind. But this body and mind, it is just like a vehicle. Just like until a living being, person, gets inside the car and starts it and drives it, it doesn't go anywhere. But we're still foolish. When we see the car going down the street, we say, oh, the car is driving down the street. But do cars drive? A living person drives. We've identified the driver with the vehicle. And this is our whole problem, that this body is simply a vehicle. We're the eternal soul. This is the first gift that Krishna reveals in Srimad Bhagavad Gita, that you're not this body, you are the eternal soul. We can spend all our time fixing our car, just like we see some people, they're painting, so many wild colors on their car and flames coming out from underneath the bonnet, and they put chrome reverse wheels and a big chrome exhaust and great big wheels. And they're all driving down the street and they're thinking, oh, everyone's looking at me. Huh? Everyone's looking at their car. No one's looking at him, they're looking at his car. And the person behind him wasn't paying attention, and he crashes into the backside of the car. So immediately jumps out, he jumps out of his car, he runs back, said, you hit me, you hit me. He says, my dear sir, I didn't hit you, I hit your car. My car hit your car. But see, even in our ordinary language, you say, you hit me. We sit in this car so much, we can become completely absorbed in this vehicle. We forget that I'm the driver. Everyone's looking at me, they're looking at your car, and then, oh, you hit me. So, my dear sir, my car hit your car. Even in our own ordinary language, we talk like the car is driving down the street. And Prabhupada, he gave so many simple examples. Even Krishna gives so many examples in Bhagavad Gita. But Prabhupada also gives, just like if we approach some child and we say, Lala, where is your nose? He'll point here. Where is your eye? He'll point here. Where is your ear? He'll point here. Where is your mouth? Where is your belly? Where is your chest? Where is your arm? Where is your leg? Like that. And where are you? And the child will automatically point here. He said, you just said that was your chest. So where are you? You point here, but that's your chest. You just told us that was your chest. So then we can understand, just like if I say, these are my glasses. You can see there's me and the glasses, separate things. So nobody speaks I body. They say my body. So we can understand at that point that we're not actually the body. We possess the body. Just like you can see, there's me and there's the glasses. I say my glasses, you can see. So if I say my body, that means that I must be something different from the body. Who possesses it? I'm possessing the body. So I say it is my car. Therefore, if you want to drive it, you have to get permission from me. If you take it illegally, then I'll have you arrested. It is my car. But I'm not the car. So we spend all day fixing this car, but we don't realize that the purpose of this car is to take us somewhere. If we just spend all day painting and doing funny things and putting decals and flames and so many things, and we don't go anywhere, there was use of having the car. The purpose of the car is to take us from one place to another place. So this human body, specifically this human body, because we see, although we can see there's so many cats and birds and bees, and especially dogs are everywhere, and we haven't driven much around Bangalore, but in Vrindavan you drive around, you see cows. We were just at Andaman, everywhere we went we saw cows on the road, so beautiful. But we see that no cows, no cats or dogs, no birds have come here for Srimad Bhagavatam class. Because we're human beings, we have a higher intelligence. That we can ask, what's beyond all this? We can ask, who am I, first of all? Just like the first verse of Vedanta Sutra, Atato Brahma Jignasa. Atato means now. After 8,400,000 species of life, you have this human form of life. So now, that means after all this time now, Brahma Jignasa, you inquire about the truth. This is the purpose of our human form of life, not to just decorate the body. Just like whenever there's a funeral procession, they put nice suit, nice tie, nice shoes, nice everything, and Jai Sri Jagannath Baladev Subhadra Maharani ki, Sri Gaurnitai ki, Sri, what is it, Gandharvika? Gaurangi Bangalore Ishwar, all right. It's like they put a nice covering over the body, looks like Prabhupada described, like an airship. We've been so many, what's the use? The body is dead. We just take it and put it on the fire and burn it. No use. Nobody wants to. No matter how beautiful she was when she was alive, nobody wants to embrace a dead body. In fact, that's the time we can understand that we aren't this body. Because they always have, when someone dies and they put the body there and everybody comes and pays respect and everyone's crying and everyone's saying, oh, my husband is gone, my father is gone, my grandfather is gone. And we can ask, he's lying right there. Why are you saying he's gone? There he is. At that point, we can understand he wasn't the body. That was the first time I began to question about life. What is life? Was we went to the funeral home because my grandfather had died, and everyone came and they were looking at him in the casket. And I came and this is not my grandfather. He's gone. My grandfather is that person who sat in his rocking chair by the big window in his living room, smoking his smelly pipe and telling me wonderful stories. That was my grandfather. What's here is nothing. This is just a shell. At that point, I understood. That was the first time. I was 11 years old. I began to question, what is life? So I was thinking like this. And I had personal experience. In our family, there was no shortage of anything. We had all material facilities. But none of them made me satisfied. Just like Vyasadeva, he's not satisfied. Because most of the Vedas deal with Dharma, Artha, Kama, and Moksha. Dharma becoming religious so that most people are religious so that they can get Artha, lots of wealth, so they can enjoy their senses. People think that those who have lots of money, they're very, that is God's mercy on them. But we see, just like in this first canto, we'll read Queen Kunti's prayer. She's praying that I want to see all those difficulties again and again. Generally thinking we have nice facilities, oh, then God has blessed us. But Kunti's saying that having all those difficulties again and again, that is the real blessing. Why? Because every time we were in difficulty, you came, and we got to see you again and again. So I want to see all those difficulties again and again because it means seeing you again and again. And what is the benefit of seeing Krishna again and again? No more seeing of birth and death again and again. That is the real blessing of the Lord. That we become free from this material attachment and go back home, back to Godhead. So mostly it's dealing Dharma, Artha, Kama, and finally when we get, we want moksha, just to stop it all, to become jiro. But Prabhupada said, I'm a living being. We cannot make it zero. But we can change our desire. Now we desire sense gratification. Now we have to change it to let us desire to serve Krishna somehow or another. Now we want to go to the McDonald's and taste so many what we think are nice things, horrible things. But it's not that we stop wanting to taste things. No, now we want to make nice things, offer them to the Lord, and taste that as Krishna Prasadam. Not that we say, all right, you stop dancing and singing. No, you stop going to the disco dance club. You come here to the temple and dance to the Lord's name, dance to the Lord's pastimes. Hear all these. You want to hear something nice, so you hear about Krishna. There's nothing more nice than hearing about Krishna. So all the senses are gratified in a spiritual way. So anyway, Vyasadeva, he's written all of these things. Now he's feeling despondent. And he's come before his spiritual master and presenting himself as a fool. Just like Sanatana Goswami when he met Sriman Mahaprabhu in Kashi. on the Dasaswamedh Ghat. He came there and he said, everybody calls me Pandit, very learned. But I do not know Kayami. Who am I? And why this treetop, these threefold miseries are bothering me. Actually, Lord Chaitanya said, you know everything, but still you're asking for the benefit of others. So before the spiritual master, we should feel like we should present ourselves as a fool. So Vyasadeva is saying, I don't know why I'm so upset. I've done all these nice things, but still I don't feel completely satisfied. So we'll see, and now he's going to, next verse we'll see, it's very nice. He begins to glorify why he's approached Narad Muni. Text number 6. We can change it on here? Somebody's in charge of changing the verse. Savai bhavan veda samastaguyam upasito yat purusha purana paravaresho manasaiva vishwam srijat avadyati gunair asanga. My Lord, everything that is mysterious is known to you because you worship the creator and destroyer of the material world and the maintainer of the spiritual world, the original personality of Godhead, who is transcendental to the three modes of material nature. So now Vyasadeva is explaining what is the qualification of Narad Muni, that he knows everything. Why? Because he's worshiping the creator, destroyer, and maintainer of everything, and maintainer of the spiritual world. Therefore, one who surrenders to Krishna, then he understands everything. Because Krishna is filled with all knowledge. If one becomes a devotee, then he gets the same qualities as Krishna. We become filled with also knowledge. So he's glorifying his spiritual master in this way. Purport. A person who is 100% engaged in the service of the Lord is the emblem of all knowledge. Such a devotee of the Lord in full perfection of devotional service is always perfect by the qualification of the personality of Godhead. As such, the eightfold perfections of mystic power, Astasiddhi, constitute very little of his godly opulence. A devotee like Narada can act wonderfully by his spiritual perfection, which every individual is trying to attain. Sri Narada is a 100% perfect living being, although not equal to the personality of Godhead. So by dint of Narad Muni being a surrendered soul under the personality of Godhead, then he understands everything. Actually, Krishna is told in Bhagavad Gita that he has no beginning, he has no end, he has no middle. How we're going to understand anything like that? God is unlimited, and we're limited in so many ways. So how will the limited understand the unlimited? But because the unlimited is unlimited, there's no limit. If he wants to reveal himself to the limited living being, he can do that. He's unlimited. Just like those who are agnostics. We have those who believe in God, those who atheists, and the agnostics. Agnostics, may be God, may not be God. We can never know because he's beyond our knowledge to understand. This is just an excuse to go on with their sinful life in this material world. That we've investigated, but God cannot be known, so we'll just go on with our nonsense, that's all. At least the atheist is honest. There's no God, useless thing. The agnostic, he's a fool. He's saying maybe, may not, but we know one thing we don't know anything about God, but we know one thing, he can't reveal himself. Why not? You write your book, you put your big picture on the back and a whole thing about, so he did so and so, and he did this, and he did that. You write your book and you put your picture and all the things you did on it. Why God cannot write a book? He has written a book. He sung a book. Bhagavad Gita means song of God. So therefore, in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, Tesam satata yuktanam bhajatam pripti purvikam dadami buddhi yogam tam jainama mupayanti te. That to those who are 100%, bhajatam priti purvakam, they're doing my bhajan with love, with devotion, priti purvakam. Dadami, this is first person. Krishna speaking, so I give. Nobody can know God. Why are we wasting our time here? Better just go home and enjoy life. No one can know God. No. If you serve Him, Krishna, He reveals Himself. Dadami buddhika. I give the knowledge by which one can understand me. So he says, next verse, that I destroy with the shining lamp of knowledge the darkness born of ignorance. So Krishna can reveal Himself. But where does He reveal Himself? We cannot challenge. Oh, can you show me God? People are always challenging. Can you show me God? But what is your qualification to see God? You have no qualification. Because to see God, Prabhupada says, not easy thing, requires some qualification. But it doesn't require that you become very rich man, very beautiful person, very learned, anything. Only one qualification. Premanjana charita bhakti vilochanena. Those whose eyes are anointed with the salve of love, they can see Krishna. So Krishna reveals how you can understand. He said, we can't understand. He says, I have no beginning, middle. How you'll understand something with no beginning, middle, or end? He says, even the demigods cannot know me. How will know Krishna? By worshipping Him with devotion, Krishna will reveal Himself. Krishna will reveal Himself to a living entity. So this is the process. We have to take up this process of devotional service, and everything will be revealed, especially by serving. Just like in the very beginning, just like here, Vyasadeva is approaching his spiritual master to ask questions from him. So in the beginning of Bhagavad Gita, Krishna told, Tadvidi pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya upadeshite jnanam jnanena tattvadarshana. That pariprashnena, we should approach the spiritual master and ask questions. And he says, pariprashnena. Prabhupada explains in the purport that blind following is condemned. Pariprashnena, we should get all our questions, whatever doubt. We shouldn't be afraid of doubts. Doubts are the food for our faith. What? Doubts are the food for our faith? Because if we have doubt and we approach the spiritual master or senior devotee, and he solves our problem, then our faith increases. So don't be afraid of having doubts. We all have doubts. We should be afraid of not revealing those doubts. Because that is actually the food for our faith. So pariprashnena, we asked all the questions of the spiritual master. And then, not that we just ask questions and then we go, tata, see you later. Pariprashnena sevaya. We also render service. Then by rendering service, just like Krishna says, those who worship me with love, then I understand. I revealed everything to them. So, just like there's a nice example that one time, Madan Mohan Malviya, who created this Benares Hindu University, he came to see Srila Bhaktisiddhanta, one of his temples. So we would think a person of such stature, he would be attended to immediately. And Bhaktisiddhanta said, I'm busy right now. You just sit with those boys in the temple room that are polishing the brass, and I will meet you in a few minutes. So he sat down in the temple room, and after some time he went to Bhaktisiddhanta. He said, I'm still busy. You come after some time. You sit with those boys. So he's sitting there. There was nothing to do. He began to help them polish the brass. Big man like this. He was doing simple service, polishing the brass. So the third time he went to Bhaktisiddhanta. Bhaktisiddhanta says, what is your question? He says, now I have no question. I have received all the answers I needed. So by we ask questions and then we serve the spiritual master out of gratitude. He's giving us knowledge to free us from this material world. So by service, then everything is revealed. So this is a process. Although Krishna says that he's unknowable, we can know him by this process, by his mercy. And specifically in this dark age of Kali, the service has been given of the tongue. The tongue has two businesses. One is speaking, one is tasting. So all day long, tongue talking about so many things. You listen to your tongue all day long, talking so many useless things. You just utilize the tongue to talk about Krishna. To talk about the philosophy of Krishna, to talk about Krishna's pastimes, and to talk about Krishna's service. 3 types of Harikatha are there. Just like if we're in the kitchen and we say, pass the pot, please, that sounds like a material thing, but I need that pot for Krishna's service. So that is also transcendental. That is not material, it's spiritual. So that service, then Srimad Bhagavatam is about Krishna, and Bhagavad Gita is spoken by Krishna. These 3 types are there. And slowly, 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 everything will be revealed to us. So this basic thing is this tongue. Ataksi Krishna Namari Nabhaved Grayam Indriyaya. So Krishna's name, form, pastimes, nagrayam indriya. They cannot be captured by the senses. Seva mukhi jiva though, but by engaging this tongue, jiva, in seva, what is that seva? Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama. Swayameva spratyana. Krishna reveals himself. So we just, very simple seva in this Gaur Kali Yuga when we're so unfortunate and misguided and so many problems are there. But simply by this chanting of Hare Krishna, everything will be revealed. Simple. We have to use this tongue. So that is one way of engaging the tongue. The tongue wants to taste. So then we taste nice puris and paneer sabji and samosas and kachuris, but only after they've been offered first to Krishna. By engaging the sense, these 2 services, first chanting and tasting Krishna Prasada, then swayameva spratyata, everything will be revealed. So I don't see any clock anywhere, so I don't know what time it is. 8:40. 48. Okay, so we can leave some time if anybody has any questions or they would like to ask. Then I'll try and answer them. Yes. Is there a microphone for Prabhuji?
First and foremost, I would like to thank because last month on Gopashtami I was here at Vrindavan, so you gave a mission class on Gopashtami about Krishna's pastimes.
Yes.
So it was very, very nice experience. And I just wanted to ask that initial days that all of you were so young. So what happened that what you found in Srila Prabhupada that just to dedicated whole life, and in the beginning how the movement was like?
We found that Prabhupada not only spoke something, but he did the same thing. All our teachers, our parents, all our seniors, they all told us, don't smoke and don't drink. And they were all smoking and drinking. Just like I had I knew one person, he was a policeman. And he came home and his son was lying in the bed, he had the TV blaring, he was smoking cigarette, a little, 7, 8-year-old son. He said, his mother came and said, what are you doing? He said, I'm being a daddy. Because he said, that's what dad lies in the bed, watch the TV and smoke. So all our teachers, they told us, don't smoke and don't drink, and they're all smoking and drinking. So what we'll do? But Prabhupada told us what to do, and he did it himself. This was the first thing. We had lost faith in all our authorities because they all told us so many things, but they were doing the opposite thing. But Prabhupada was saying it and doing it. The second thing is We already had all material facilities, but we realized that our hearts are empty. We're frustrated. So when Prabhupada revealed to us that we're not this body, that you can do everything for this body, just like in Bhagavad Gita, Prabhupada gives an example that just like you have a bird in a bird cage, you can make the bird cage out of silver. You can make the bird cage out of gold. Just imagine at today's prices. You can put a nice Modican carpet, beautiful TV set, so many things. But bird will not be happy because you have to give some food to the bird. The same way, this body is like a cage. We can do everything for this body. This soul, he's like a little bird sitting in this cage. Unless you give some food to that bird, how will it be happy? And we saw that simply by chanting Hare Krishna, we found some type of amazing happiness. We can't explain where it's coming from. We just somehow, by chanting, because chanting is not different from Krishna himself, and Krishna is all bliss. Satchidananda. Just like Narad Muni, he asked the Lord one time that, where do you stay? And Lord said, Naham basami vaikunte, yoginam hridaye subha, yatra madbhakta gayanti tatra tistami narada. So he said, Naham basami vaikunte. This is very surprising. Vaikuntha is Lord abode. He's saying he's not there. So where did he go? Kiru chala gaye Bhagwan? Naham basami vaikunte, yoginam hridaye subha. I'm not in the heart of the yogis. Yogis performing great penance austerities, sitting for hundreds of years in meditation, trying to see just the ray from the toenail of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and they can't see that even. I'm not there in the yogi's heart. Yatra madbhakta gayanti, where my devotees are chanting, tattastami, there I go and stay. So this holy name is so powerful. Krishna has left his home, he's left the yogis, he only goes where the devotees are chanting. So by chanting Hare Krishna, of course, tasting prasadam, just like Prabhupada used to say, this gulab jamun, this is the ISKCON goli. We all became devotees. Any other question? Yes. Okay, here comes Bhakta Mike. Son. Well, the first real interaction with Prabhupada, I'll tell that. Because I joined in Boulder, Colorado, in the middle of, somewhat in the middle of the United States, but Prabhupada was there in LA. So the devotees sent me to LA to get initiated. So, at that time it was the old temple. Now the temple at Watseka, they have a place where Prabhupada lived inside the temple compound, a building. But in the old La Cienega temple, there was no place for Prabhupada to stay. He lived nearby. So they would drive him in the morning, he'd come for darshanartik and kirtan, and then he'd give Bhagavatam class. And after Bhagavatam class, there was always kirtan. We don't do that anymore, but he always, after Bhagavatam class, he did Nam Sankirtan. And then he'd go home. So we arrived afternoon, so we weren't going to see Prabhupada till the next morning. But in LA, those days, on Saturday nights especially, because it was Saturday night, then we went to Hollywood Boulevard. You all know Hollywood, huh? We used to go to Hollywood Boulevard and have Sankirtan all the way till midnight, 1 o'clock. Because those days, when I joined, there was no such thing as Mangalarti. Maybe for the pujaris, but not for us. It was later, after next year, then Prabhupada instituted that you must attend Mangalarti. So we used to stay out to midnight chanting on Hollywood Boulevard. And we used to chant in front of one restaurant because the sidewalk was very wide in front of one restaurant called Diamond Gym. And we won't describe what they were serving there. You can just imagine. You shouldn't imagine, actually. So But the sidewalk was wide there, so people could walk and we could chant and people could stand on the other side and watch. So, and we had one devotee named Vishnu Jan who was chanting, Prabhupada said he will chant his way back to Goloka. His chanting was so ecstatic. Prabhupada loved his chanting. And he had us all in a semicircle like this. He said, just like Krishna's eye. And we were all with our backs to the street, facing the building. And he would stand at the very end, so he's looking down. You can see street, you can see the sidewalk both. And we even had a Hollywood melody. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Then we had part B also. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. And he used to chant very fast. He said, we don't want any gaps for Maya to enter. So we were chanting very fast, our Hollywood melody, and all of a sudden Vishnu Jan's eyes got bigger like saucers, and he said, Prabhupada, and he fell down on the sidewalk. Now we didn't see anything in front of us that would make him do like that, so something must have happened behind us. So we turned around, and when I told the story in Vrindavan one time, Gargamuni told him, yes, that particular night, Prabhupada told me to take him in a car to Hollywood Boulevard so he could see how his disciples were pushing on the Sankirtan movement of Lord Chaitanya, even in this horrible place called Hollywood. So Prabhupada we saw him in the window of his car, and he had his hand in his bead bag, but Prabhupada was making pranams to us. And you don't want to know about us. We crashed Yamaraja's hard drive, keeping track of our symbol activity. We felt totally embarrassed that Prabhupada was making pranams. We just wanted to peel up the sidewalk and crawl underneath and hide. We felt embarrassed. So we couldn't do that, so we just hit the street also. But we saw Prabhupada was so grateful. He was so kind and grateful that we were pushing on Lord Chaitanya's Sankirtan mission, even in this horrible place. So Prabhupada was making pranams to us. So that was my first interaction. Yes?
So what to do if someone is not able to give up certain bodily urges or certain habits, which again and again attack. We know that it is detrimental to our Krishna consciousness, but it attacks again and again. We are not able to give it up. And sometimes, like outside people, they say that no, it's biological, it's natural, so it's okay. But we know that it's detrimental, and we're not able to give it up. What to do then?
Well, this is the same question Arjuna asked, that how to control this mind. And Krishna gives the example in Gita that desires are like rivers flowing into the ocean. We have any river here in Bangalore? Kaveri rivers here? That's just... Okay, there's some river here. So anyway, so many rivers are flowing to the ocean, but he's not disturbed. It's not that the rivers are flowing in and he's becoming bigger and bigger, because he doesn't increase. He's not disturbed, because he's full. So we have to fill our hearts with Krishna consciousness. Then desires will never stop. Prabhupada said desire means that you're alive. He said to become desireless means to become a dead stone. If to understand God is to become a dead stone, then Prabhupada said, I do not want to know what is God. We have to become full with Krishna consciousness. Even though desires will never stop, but we become full of Krishna consciousness. We have to keep practicing. Just like when I was a child, I used to cut up all of my father's National Geographic magazines for my school projects. When I grew up, then I understood how much it must have hurt him to see me cutting up all his magazines like that, but he saw that I was learning something, so he tolerated it. Anyway, one time there was an article, this is 60 years ago, about the elephants in India, how they used them in the railways. They would push the cars, they would load logs onto the cars and push the cars and do so many things. And they said what they would do is they would catch a small elephant, and then they would put a chain on his leg and a great big post in the ground. Bam, 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 bam. And he would run around and around and around and around, and till his wrists became bloody. And he came to the conclusion that when they put this thing on my wrist, I can't do anything about it. Now he's a big elephant. He's lifting whole trees onto the car. And they put a little peg in the ground, ting, 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 put this thing on his foot, and he stands there. Because he gave up trying. Sometimes, just like if there's a fire, then suddenly he'll just rip that thing out of the ground and run. Because actually all the time, he was growing and growing and growing. He could have done it any time. Somehow some emergency came and boom. So same way, as long as we're chanting, associating with devotees, hearing Srimad Bhagavatam, we're growing in Krishna consciousness. But if we stop trying, then we just stay there. All the time you're growing in Krishna consciousness. You keep trying, don't give up. Keep trying, keep trying. One day you'll take that peg of lust and throw it far away and run back to home, back to Godhead. Don't give up. Krishna told Arjuna, abhyas. Arjuna, I cannot, it's easier to control the wind than control the mind. Anybody can control the wind. How will control the mind? He said abhyas. Abhyasa vairagya, by practice and detachment. So we shouldn't give up. Just like a child, we should take example from the child. Walking is a natural thing. We're all walking, we don't even think about it. We don't walk down, whoa. That's when we were little, Now we walk around, we run, we don't even think about it. But one time we had to learn. And we were learning, we fall, hit our head on the edge of the table, and a big, in America we call it a big egg will come on your head. But still after 2 minutes, he's again trying to walk. He's very determined. And after a while, he's running around, making his mother completely crazy. So Krishna consciousness is a natural thing. Just like walking is a natural thing. We don't even think about it anymore. Krishna consciousness is a natural thing. You just keep trying, you keep trying. Just like that child. No matter how many times he falls on the floor and hits his nose, and 2 minutes later, he's again trying to walk. He hits his head on the table, again 5 minutes later, he's again trying. So we take determination from the child. Just keep trying, keep trying. Just like one time we were on the beach walking, and one young boy was there. Had heard that Prabhupada was in LA, so he came to LA, and we invited him to come on because he lived in a place where there was no temple, but he was reading the books, and we sent him japa beads and everything, so that we said, oh, Prabhupada's coming, you should come. So he came, and we were walking on the beach in Venice Beach near LA Temple. And he said, oh, that was a different one. That's a different story. Okay. We went on a morning walk with Prabhupada, and that day, Dr. Stilson Judah came. He was the head of the religious department theological department of Berkeley University. Everybody's heard of Berkeley, Berkeley. But he loved Prabhupada very much, and he wrote many books on Krishna consciousness movement. So he heard that Prabhupada was LA, so he came, and we were walking on Venice Beach, and he said, Prabhupada, what do we do about the problem of lust? And Prabhupada turned and dug his cane into the ground, into the sand, and he said, unless you become Krishna conscious, there's no solution. And he took a few more steps, and he turned again, he said, unless you become Krishna conscious, there's no solution. Like I said, we have to fill ourselves with Krishna consciousness, that even though the desires are flowing and flowing and flowing, we become so full of Krishna consciousness, we don't care for them anymore. There was another questions. We can fall down at the very soft and wonderful lotus feet of that great personality who's given us this wonderful process of Krishna consciousness. To the Prabhupada ki jai. Also, if anyone's interested, we have some copies of our book, Braj Leela Part 2, that we just improved and expanded and improved it even more. Just a few months ago, we reprinted, so we have copies with us. And only asking small donation of 400 rupees if anybody wants to take a copy. And it's also got many nice, beautiful paintings inside. And the way I talk, that's the way the book is. It's not formal writing. And we can also accept online payments also. So if anybody wants to get a copy, and then I'm here also to sign it. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki.